Hey y'all, how's it going? So, yeah, happy Sunday. And yeah, I haven't been on live in a really long time. So I'm just like, well, let's just do something. So, this video is about the Where is Wendy Williams documentary. And I saw it this morning and it was a really tough watch. Like, I was warned, but I was just like, geez. Oh man, please let me know in the comments. Did you watch it? Like, it felt so long for one thing. I'm gonna wait till a few of y'all get in the room. But yeah, if y'all know me and you've kept in touch with me, you know that like I love Wendy Williams. Like since like her radio days, since Total wanted to fight her outside the radio station, since she had the Wendy Williams experience, I think on VH1. Like I've kept up with this woman. I met her at her book signing. I think I'm gonna post a picture of us together later in the week. But yeah, it just really hurts my heart to see her like this. Like, what a fall from grace. It really is. Like, I remember seeing her. I said this on Pop Roast already, but I remember seeing her um during the great days, and then I saw her my last time when this was like after the collapse. This was like one of her final appearances, and she kept it together. But during those commercial breaks, like the lights were on, but nobody was home. Like just very vacant, really. But I was watching some old clips of Wendy Williams, and look, there will never be another Wendy Williams. Oh man, so many moments on this show. So yes, a few of y'all are in the room. Hello. It looks like y'all are really sad about this as well. Let's see. My dad had dementia. It was a heartbreaking to watch. Yes, I definitely understand. I was asking Alex, was he gonna like review it? And he was just like, no, I don't want to see it. And I think it's triggering for anyone who knows a relative who's suffering from dementia. And we just found this out. Like it's called frontotemporal dementia as well as aphasia. And keep in mind that I guess during the filming of this documentary, no one knew the diagnosis yet. Like it just came out. And I'm just wondering, is it calculated or like coincidence that they're now just letting us know what's going on? But yeah, the reason why I wanted to watch this was more so because like I love Wendy and I was just very curious like what has been going on. There's always just been this veil of question like going on with her. Like is it like addiction? Is it the Graves' disease? Like it had to be something else. Or it could just be a combination of all these variables that's like definitely making her deteriorate in front of our eyes. And that's what basically we're seeing in this documentary. So, with that said, episode 1, I was watching it and I'm just going to give like I took some notes or whatever so I could be ready for the live. And I'll be highlighting y'all's comments too. So please feel free to comment. Y'all are my co-hosts right now. I love bouncing off of people's opinions. So it took place around 2022. And around this time, like, remember, like, we were all waiting for the podcast. That just seemed like the right trajectory for her to go. She could be on there once a week. She could talk about whatever she wants. She could have her own schedule. She didn't have to be on camera. That was the best thing. We just hear her voice. I mean, that's how we started, right? So I see why, she gave Lifetime the rights to this documentary because they've been handling pretty much everything. Like, I think they had that reality show. There was another documentary before that, wasn't it? Like Wendy Williams, What a Mess. And then they had the movie. So yeah, like Lifetime gets this documentary. So as they're filming, we find out that like she had to go to a wellness center or rehab like in between the filming and they just stopped. So when she came back on, um, I guess the cameras came back up. The management team is like, we're still going to try to get this podcast out. Oof. Let's see what y'all talking about. I find it amazing that someone with her status didn't have some sort of will in place or lawyer in place that would handle this. I think she was in denial as well. And I also think she's dealing with addiction too. And addiction, it's a fight. And unless that person wants to change, nothing is. And I'm sorry to everyone who's like dealing with a family member that has dementia or going through something similar, because it really is heartbreaking. Tamron Hall will never be Wendy. Sherry will never be Wendy. No one has that reckless mouth that Wendy had. Nobody. Basically, a domino effect. Sidebar, you are very handsome. Thank you. Thank you. But back to Wendy Williams. Yes. Could it be her guardian released that information? I think so. Because it seems like when you're watching the documentary and then the People magazine, was it People or was it Us Weekly? Doesn't matter. But they said, the family's coming out saying something is going on. So yeah, I think the Guardian definitely, I guess, did the right thing. They're covering their ass. So yeah. So in the documentary, they finish, they want to complete the filming, and then we're just seeing a day in the life of Wendy. She doesn't look too great. And then we found out that the documentary definitely turned into something else. It was supposed to be something positive, but I guess they had all this footage and, they couldn't just waste the, money, all that time with all this footage. So it became a documentary for her to seek help. And hopefully this does help the situation. At least it brings light. And look, what I saw, she doesn't only need a financial guardian. She needs a conservatorship. Does she already have one right now? I don't think she did during this filming. They were propping her up and pretending she was okay to make money. Yep. I was wondering, though, if her bank accounts were frozen, how could she pay the people that were around her, like her team? Kevin contributed the alleged snorting head part. I think dementia is genetic, too. Poor Wendy. I know evil. Oh, don't bring Nikki into this. I mean, I don't like Nikki, but let's not assume that Nikki is happy over this. I'm a physician, so the dementia is more obvious to me, but I still feel like those around her had to be able to see that she was clearly sick. Yeah, definitely. It was really just jarring to see these people be interviewed and say well, I don't really want to say anything or I don't want to bring it up, but they're just trying to pretend like everything is okay, and it's not. And, they didn't really have the right to just, yank alcohol from her or stop from doing things for her. She's totally still had free will during this. But yeah, she definitely needs a conservatorship. I'm not sure if she's under one right now. Oh, so yeah. So it said in the documentary that before she came back to New York, she was with her family. This is the timeline. She went back to Florida. It seemed like she was, pretty well, on the way to getting well. And then I think afterward, Wells Fargo jumped in, and that's when they froze her bank accounts or whatever and all that. And I guess for Wells Fargo, and they get really into it around episode 2. But for them to freeze your assets, they must have saw some type of activity going on. Because I know the banks, they, working at a bank, and they look at their high accounts because that's what keeps banks, in business. So they had to see some type of discrepancy going on with her account. Maybe 1 million spent in a week or something like that. So it did have me looking at the family side eye, but we will get to that. So she comes back, she has a guardianship. She's in New York in her apartment. We see what's been going on, like with her. Like she's just been trying to get a podcast jumping. We see her doing the promo for it. We see her getting asked questions. We just know still that she's just not quite in her right mind. Like even afterward of going to the wellness center. Whew. How do you feel about her manager, Will? His vibes were kind of aggressive. So I was talking about this with my friend Carlos. Shout out to him. Like, I feel like Wendy is very used to having like a handler for her. Like a male handler in her life. Like she's very male identified. Let's just be honest. And it was her husband taking care of her. And then at one point we saw DJ Booth was like way over his head trying to take care of Wendy. Like that was her, like she always needs a right-hand man. And then now this Will character is her right-hand man now. And he just gives me vibes of that Sam guy that was taking care of Brittany. Like, I forgot his name, y'all. Like, remind me in the comments. But he was taking advantage of Brittany too, and he was her manager. Something's real slick about him, and I don't trust the publicist either. Like, it's all like, it's very selfish. This Coke is just so extra good today. I don't know why. Maybe because I haven't had one in a long time. The publicist had to agree with Wendy in order to keep her job, or Wendy would throw a tantrum and possibly get fired. Yeah. Hey, Chris, it's the girl you met at Verlaine. Hey, oh my God. I totally forgot to give you a shout out on Pop Rose because we just had so much breaking news, that week. But hey, shout out to Robin. I saw her at one of my favorite New York spots. I always love saying hello to the supporters of my channel. Like, please do not be afraid to say hello. Please. Anywho, her podcast would have been a great era. It really would have. Like, we want to see Wendy win. And like I said, like me and Alex, we've talked about Wendy Williams a lot. We roasted her. We've joked with her. But at the end of the day, like that's still like in my head, that is my messy auntie that got on my nerves, tried to out me at the Thanksgiving table, was messy as hell, got on my nerves sometimes. But at the end of the day, I still loved her. She was entertaining. She never really never really crossed that line, but it's just like, that's my messy auntie. That's my messy auntie Wendy, always saying something, can't mind her business. So just to see her at this point, like at this level, it's so sad. We'll never see, I think, the Wendy Williams that we're accustomed to again. And it's very sad. As an adult child of an alcoholic, I hope that Kevin gets therapy. Yes. That publicist deserves a raise. I don't know. Like during the whole meltdown in the car, excuse me, I just don't know if the publicist has her best interest. Like it was the interview afterward that concerned me. They required 24/7 care. My dad was okay one day. The next day, he couldn't remember anything. I was in fear of his interaction with the police. Dementia isn't an obvious disability. Yeah, it really isn't. It really scares me because it can happen to anybody. And it's a lifestyle change, especially like being the child of a parent. Like you have to really make some tough decisions and stuff like that. So back to the documentary. We're still on the first episode. So then they get into a history of the cancellation. Like I think it was like she was deteriorating on air. Like I could not watch like during the pandemic when it was at her house because you could tell like something wasn't going on right. And I just couldn't watch Wendy in that state. Like every morning was cringe. And it was this like the secondhand embarrassment. Like it wasn't like the funny kind. Like when she said with Britney Spears' parents, death to them all. Like that was funny. But this is just like her pausing, her trying to remember things. Like it was just uncomfortable to watch. So I understand like why she needed a break. And I think it ended, excuse me, it ended in 2021. Like the show, well, they started doing the guest hosts, and that's when I definitely stopped watching because I was just like, it's only one Wendy. There's only one Wendy. So then we're seeing how she treats people on a day-to-day basis. And from the nail technician, like the way she was talking, like she was so sweet to her at first. And it was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And no one knew what was going on with her at the time. Like people just thought, oh, that's just maybe her behavior these days. Maybe they thought she was erratic. Maybe they thought it was the addiction. So, like, to be in that position. Then the stylist, oh my God, the way she talked to the stylist was terrible. To the trainer, when he was just trying to get her to step up on that little that block. Sir, excuse me. Like, what do you do in that situation? And then how she was talking to production, just telling them to get out. Why did you ask that question? Get out. It was a lot. And then we see her team, and I don't trust her team. But the thing is, like by episode 2, I'm just like, can we trust the family? Like, because, well, I'll get into it when we get to that topic. But I just was side-eyeing the family as well as her enablers, like her team. Like this woman has no one. No one. They were interviewing her like her childhood friend. I'm just like, what happened to that relationship, So let's see what y'all talking about. That jeweler is a great value, Big Kev. Declining Wendy still got Nene and Jocelyn together. She did. Low key, Wendy has those patriarchal 1950s conservative black bougie values. Marriage, suburbs, baby. Yep, she does. That car ride with Wendy to get the vape was better than Kyle cursing out Kim in Beverly Hills season 1. That was something. Like to the point where production had to just stop filming because she had them going around that block. I know exactly where that is because I've been to that show maybe 4 or 5 times, including the Sherry one, because I wanted to see how that was too. Also, we have 184 people in the room. Hello. Thanks for joining. I'm just giving my thoughts after watching parts 1 and part 2 because it was just really depressing. Like it's still in my mind right now. So I just wanted to talk to y'all and just see like y'all's reaction to it. Let's see. Shout out to your parents, Chris, because you have some good genes. Just go. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel a little ugly today because, I'm trying to grow my beard out. And then, I need a haircut too. So, it's giving a little salt and pepper vibes, though. I like it. Wendy's niece is going to address the hanger-ons tonight. Does it come on? I thought it comes on next week. Does it come on tonight as well? When does part 3 and 4 air? Y'all let me know in the chat. I really had to stop watching, and I'm not going to watch it anymore because it triggered me really bad because I had to take care of 2 family members with this disease. Yeah. So sorry for everyone that's dealing with this in real life. So then they interview her longtime DJ Booth, and he's been there since the very beginning. And he took care, he said during the pandemic, like he was doing everything, like the lighting, adjusting the camera, the cue cards, everything to help her out because she needed it. Because I remember, what was his name? Norman, another one of Wendy's right-hand man. Like he would just have to be there to correct her on every turn. Every turn. Excuse me. Oh, part 3 and 4 tonight. Okay, y'all. So hopefully it's available because Lifetime for some reason isn't on YouTube TV, and I don't really have cable. And then it's not on Hulu either. Like it's on Hulu Live TV, and I don't have that service. So if anybody wants to DM me and just so I can watch 3 and 4, let me know. Or else maybe Lifetime is showing it for free on the app. We'll see. But yeah, I would trust Norman and the son to take care of Wendy. Well, see, that's easier said than done. Like Norman has his own life. Like to take on that role, you're taking on a caretaker role because during this time in Wendy's during 2022 during this no, that is a full-on task. She needed to be watched 24/7. This is when she was hiding bottles of alcohol everywhere in the house. Like her manager at least wanted to not have her drinking. Like I think even though he seemed shady, he still wanted her lucid enough to be able to function, to be able to make him money. But yeah, DJ Booth was saying like how hard it was during the pandemic, and also like I guess when she was rushed to the hospital, when she was found unresponsive, I think it was him. He didn't want to give too many details about it, and he didn't really even know what to do. Like, so he called her son. Like, I think this was the first time we heard this story, like behind the scenes of it. So Kevin had to call the ambulance or whatever to get to the emergency room. She had to get 2 blood transfusions. She could have died. Like, yeah. So I think after that, DJ Booth was done. And that's really sad, And then we see her son that was interviewed as well. He says he hasn't talked to her in 8 months. They interviewed the nephew. The nephew, he was given all the tea, all of it. And then we see her niece, who I think is the one who has her head on her shoulders the most. I'm wondering why couldn't she be the financial guardian? So we get commentary from everybody, but it just seemed like, all these people care for Wendy, but why is she in the predicament she's in right now? Like, why hasn't the intervention happened? That's what I want to know. Thank you, S. Lloyd, for the super chat. She needs to maybe live with her sister Wanda with in-home aides to take care of her. Well, that's the thing I'm confused about because they said that while she was with the family, that's when they stopped her bank account, when they froze it. So was the family taking advantage of, her finances? You need a family member to do this. It's very difficult to be a caregiver for someone with dementia. There are really good channels here on YouTube with families documenting their journey, and it's rough. I kind of don't trust the son either. It's giving big Kevin tease, excuse me. I feel like he was giving the money to the dad. I've been hearing that. I think he was kind of spending it on himself because, we heard the spending. But yeah, that's the end of episode 1. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like, it felt like a 2-hour episode and it was only 44 minutes. Like, did it feel long to anybody? And I was just like, shit, we got episode 2, 3, and 4. I was like, I mean, again, it's like watching a car accident happen in slow motion. Like, for some reason, it was just so much dead air. And this was just really, it was just the reality of the situation because, like, there's no coming back to where she was. It's just not in the cards. Now it's just like, can she live like a wonderful life going forward? I don't think she'll be ever be able to like be behind the mic again in that capacity. I really hope Wendy's son is in therapy, and I hope paperwork is done now. So Wendy's ex-husband, unfortunately, if Wendy passes, can't take that money from that son. He's a snake. That Uber Eats bill, yeah, 100K, 100K. Now, allegedly, Miss Rich TV says they were ordering from Capitol Grill every day. Yeah, just because I'm like, $100,000. Like you had to be ordering breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Every day. Jeez, that's at least like $9,000 a month on Uber Eats. So yeah, part one, really hard watch. Part two, we're diving further into the abyss. We see her daily routine. We see like more so less flashbacks in this one. Like they're recording her doing promo. She's doing like a photo shoot in her old neighborhood where she grew up. We even see her, she's talking to fans. Like she don't even remember where she lived. Like the woman was telling her, no, you live down the street. That's why the street, like, that's why the sign is right here. Like, damn. So we actually see her dad was being interviewed as well. Now, can I be honest? I was surprised. I didn't know her dad was still with us. I know her mom died for a fact, but I didn't know her dad was still alive. And I'm just wondering, why don't they have a close relationship? Very interesting. So then they're talking more about the financial guardianship and how that happened. They gave us the timeline, and she was with her family when it happened. So then now it's just like raising side eyes to the family. Like, were they taking care of her? I mean, the thing is, at least she was around family and she wasn't in harm's way. And I think Kevin wasn't allowing her to drink. So it's a catch-22. Like you have her safe and around her family, or while the fact that they may be abusing her finances. So what do y'all think about that? So then they get into how the financial guardianship, like they cut Kevin off immediately. So I think they cut her off from the family as well. I mean, y'all can correct me, but that's just how I interpreted it. So then this is when the nephew was spilling the tea on little Kevin's spending habits. 100K on his birthday party that she threw for him, $80,000 a month rent. 80. Where's the camera? $80,000 a month? Where did he live in Miami? And he said, oh, and also the 100K for Uber Eats. That is ridiculous. And I wonder, they didn't even say 100K in a year. They just said $100,000 in Uber Eats. So yeah, if I was the bank, I mean, Wells Fargo like really saw some red flags there. Do y'all think there was something wrong with that? Like Kevin even said that he would never take advantage of his mom. And he said everything that he spent money on, his mom approved. But then at this time, we didn't know that she was like, in mental decline, or there was like something going on. Which also we saw in episode 1 how she was still going to doctors, because I'm guessing she wants access to her account. So she needs like a psychiatric wellness check or something. It's just a lot. Like, it's just so many variables that has her in this state right now. So then they were talking to an expert, because they said it's really rare that they don't put a family member under the financial guardianship. And when they don't do that, that means one of two things. That means that either there was some foul play there. And what else did he say? Oh, he said that they're probably like fighting amongst each other over it. So yeah, like she still doesn't have access to her money. And I'm just like, who can be a trusted source? I mean, outside of a stranger. Let's see what y'all are talking about. She's losing her mind. She needs a caring family member to watch her and protect her. Now, this is easier said than done. Again, like just imagine like being someone in your 40s, like just having a life, having a day job and stuff like that. And then you have to take care of like someone with dementia. I think, they should use her finances to help her, go to a facility where they can at least have a like a live-in nurse or something. Her disease has been known for over a year. We just didn't know because her medical condition is none of our business. It was only announced because the documentary was coming. So if that was the case, did her team know this? Did her team know her medical information? Because then they all need to be, burned at the stake. I don't drink. Dr. Jackie Brow beat me into it. I eat as clean as I can. I don't smoke or vape. I'm going to start working out more seriously now. After watching this, I didn't watch it, but I think I would rather her family take advantage of her financially than these. I'm not sure if I could say that because Alex, he when he was saying honks. So I don't trust these pink toes at Wells Fargo. I get it. Court said that little black boy ain't getting no coins, spending money like that. Her niece said they wouldn't even let her talk to her dad on his 92nd birthday. Wow. That visit to her childhood home, I felt it was very weekend at Bernie's. She wasn't aware. It broke my heart. Yeah. Lil Kevin should have hired a personal chef. It would have saved him $25K. Right. Kevin should know that was too much wasted money, so they can't be trusted. Wendy was wealthy. Kevin is a rich kid. That's how he was raised. Wendy is extravagant. She raised him to be that way. Well, even when she was in her right mind, I'm pretty sure they're comparing like then to now. Like I said earlier, like if the bank is watching your account, because they do watch their high investment accounts and see how money is coming in and out. And if you see like $1 million just leaving like this, like a week or hundreds of thousands of dollars, they're going to say something. So maybe something in the buttermilk wasn't clean for the court to be involved. This doc sounds so sad. I think I'll pass. Look, it's not an entertaining watch, y'all. It's only because like I love Wendy Williams. I really wanted to know what was going on. And yeah, I mean, but look, I wouldn't watch it if you have like a family member that's suffering through this, or you not feeling good one day. Like it's just not happy watching. It's sad. Oh, I got a cousin, moms, and sister at the same time dealing with this. Fortunately, it's not severe with them, but moments happen. I'm so sorry to hear that. When Wendy approved the expenditures for her son, he was not raised poor. He was raised as the only child of rich parents. His lifestyle was never regular. So some of you are saying that y'all don't think the son was abusing her money. I mean, we didn't judge all those other kids from the My Sweet 16 birthday parties. Rich kids have lavish parties. Yeah, true. But $100,000 in Uber Eats? I don't know. I don't know. See, I was like you. I didn't know the father was alive either. Absolutely, there was some foul play. Like I said, I have 3 attorneys in my family combined. They have 60 years worth of experience and they never heard of anything like this. Oh, her pot-bellied manager blocked me after I called him trash. Oh Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that everyone involved around her is getting a business right now. Uh, Thank you, Michelle Johnson, for the super chat. Them folks are fleecing. Keep your affairs in order. Wendy wasn't extravagant like that. She didn't like spending money like that. That's one thing. I agree with this because I'm just like, how one day like you're like this, and then the next day it's just like you spending money like left and right. You know? Somebody had a question for me. I'm trying to see. Isn't the form of dementia Wendy has the same one as Bruce Willis? Yes. Where is it? I just saw it. Wendy was not working when all this was happening. So if the money isn't coming in, why still try to live that lifestyle? That's a good point. Let's see. I have served for many years as a court-appointed guardian for kids and incapacitated adults. Given all the shenanigans we have seen with the folks around her, a conservator appointment was needed, in my opinion. Definitely. No, there's definitely not a cure. Damn it, I had a question on here. I was trying to look for it. Hello. Oh, here it is. Chris, do you think her being so consumed with her man that she pushed everyone that cared away from her? I don't think so. Like what they said in the documentary, like after her husband left the picture, like even though he was cheating on her, he was making sure that she was getting to work on time, that she wasn't drinking. And then after that, like I think she just started falling apart. Like just everything went to hell. But like I said, I think she always felt like she needed like a right hand man in some capacity to lean on somebody. Like it wasn't her husband, it was DJ Booth. It wasn't DJ Booth. It's this new guy, Will, who's just so seedy. Like even when he said how he met her, I don't really trust it. So then we're still on episode 2, y'all. We're seeing how shady Will, the manager, is, as well as the publicist. Like they keep trying to move forward. They're at this dinner, and like he's even trying to tell like the waiter not to give her anything to drink, give her like mocktails without her knowledge. Like it's that bad. And if you know it's that bad, why even try to get a deal situated for her? Like that's crazy, just so you could get paid. But they don't have any incentive. They don't. Like, so for her to get better, she needs to be right back with her family, which I guess at the cost of her finances being, fucked with. That publicist though, y'all, can we talk about her? Her name is Sean. Now, I kind of laughed at some parts of this documentary, like when she slammed that laptop shut, when she was done talking to her. Like, I kind of laughed at that part. But the way she was talking to her, oh my God. Like they had her, what was it? Oh no, this is after the part. Afterward, we get this manic episode that was caught on camera. All she wanted to go out for was some new vapes, and it turned out to be a whole thing. Excuse me. Ooh, had the belch. This Coke is doing the job. Like when you drink, it's like, I love a Coke like that. Let me just catch my breath right quick. It's a live show. Shout out, we got almost 300 people in the room. I appreciate it. And I will also be on Maddie Ranch channel in actually 45 minutes to talk about Drag Race. So I'll still be live. Also, if you're here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment. It helps a baby YouTuber like me. And support the channel by subscribing. Like if you don't want to give a donation, just hit the subscribe button, Please. I want to get to 15,000 this year. But yes, we get to that manic episode. Her driver, like he said, this isn't the Wendy that he knew. Like she can be acting crazy some days. He's fired him twice. He has him going around the Wendy Williams show. She still calls it that, or the Sherry show, and to this smoke shop where she gets her vapes. And it was sad to see. Like Sean, she went to the place, came back, was getting verbally like abused by Wendy, like telling the driver to shut up, everything, telling them to go around. And what can they do? What can they do? They work for her. Like they couldn't really do anything. And I felt like they were just gonna just keep driving and obeying her until production stepped in and said, okay, we're gonna stop filming right now. We're done. They had to call her management to make sure she got home safe. Crazy. Like Will now is the caretaker too. Like that, I don't think that's the manager's job. I think the manager's job is to make sure their client is good enough to work. And clearly, Wendy is not in sound mind and body to be working right now. So to say that that is her only like contact right now that they could talk to, not her family, not her son, it's troubling. And just to see her like that, I think she was the publicist, but I think she was an assistant as well. They were asking her, how do you feel being talked to like that? And she was just like, well, I have thick skin, thankfully. And look, called her fat. When she said, go downstairs and order something to make you more fatter or something like that. So told her that she needed lipo. It was a lot. But maybe she knew of her condition and was just kind of just taking it. Like, it just sucks that these people know that she's not in her right mind. And especially this Will character. Will was wearing Dior, Louis Vuitton, and Saint Laurent caps and sweatshirts, so he was getting paid somehow. Yeah, it was really weird how, excuse me, she was just sitting with the 15K in her hand, and he was like, I gave this money to you to put it in the bank. And I guess she knows that she needs to carry cash from now on, or else I guess she's not gonna get like access to her account. I don't know. Something shady is going on. Oh, we got 300 people in the room. I appreciate y'all. Like, I know a lot of content creators don't want to review this, but just I love Wendy, and I feel like we can even still have a conversation about this and just talk about what we think is going on, because it's a sad reality, you know, but I felt like I wanted to talk about this with y'all. So thank you for, being a part of the conversation. The publicist was so stressed out, her hair wasn't blending. Yes, her hair wasn't blending anymore. This Coke is doing the job. That's what Puffy says. I didn't even realize I said that, but yes, the Coke is doing its job. This is the only Coke I've ever had. And believe me, I've been in hospitality for almost 2 decades now. And the amount of drugs that you go by or come across, and I have never done cocaine in my life, ever. And I'm not lying like Nicki Minaj, allegedly. But anywho, I knew Wendy wasn't in her right mind when she showed her real hair on camera. Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me of that. Also, if you think I missed anything, let me know in the chat. She's made several comments on her talk show that she'll never remove her wig on camera. Yeah. This was what I was thinking on the entire time. How does Wendy have access to liquor? How? At least Will agree with her son that she should not be having any alcohol. And I think the manager knows that if Wendy is incapacitated, then she can't work. And if she can't work, he don't have a job. And he's just basically being her caretaker at this point. If I miss your comments, I'm sorry. A lot of y'all are commenting. I appreciate it. I think she had been an alcoholic for years. I agree. She ignored Kevin's other life, but when he embarrassed her with the baby in her alcoholism, she made bad decisions, hired a bunch of people to do things. If my mom had 20 million in the bank, I think I could have a nice apartment and some good food without it being a problem. Me too. Like, look, I don't think, and if I'm ever rich in this lifetime, I love my apartment that much to the point where I would still be living like I am for some points. Like, it's just me living lavishly and fly. That's just, I splurge on different things that make me happy. Hell. But yeah, like, if you got 20 million in the bank, and I'm just saying, like, the bank probably saw something that was alarming. And I'm thinking maybe it was just like maybe a million gone like that in like a month or something. And when you don't have any other money coming in, so if you can spend a million in a month, that 20 million is going to deplete, especially if you're not investing in anything. Folks are viewing rich people problems through a regular person's lens. I don't know. Like, I get it, spending 100K, but Wendy doesn't have any income coming in. And how rich do you think Wendy Williams is? Let's see. Wendy needs a care team, not a management team. Do you honestly think Wendy was a kind human being? Now, this is something that's been brought up. A lot of people have been saying that, some people, I've just been seeing it like a little bit on social media, that this is Wendy Williams' karma. Well, I wouldn't say so. I mean, this is actually like a disease that she's dealing with, like something that she can't, help, like a mental disease. And then she's dealing with another disease, which is alcoholism. And yes, I would say her karma, in my opinion, was when she was becoming the hot topic. And, she didn't really have that much empathy to other people's lives. And I'm just like, oh, this is how when the tables turn. But for her to be at this point, I don't think it was karma like that. And I told y'all before, I met Wendy Williams. She was very nice. I mean, why wouldn't she be at a book signing? Like, I guess it just depends on if you really know Wendy Williams. But I've never heard her being unkind to fans, so I don't know. You'd have to really ask people like Norman or people just who really know the real Wendy Williams. Maybe she can't afford an assistant and has a publicist. Yeah, the publicist was doing overtime. And also, I posed this question to anybody else. Do you think that she was a kind human being? That scene with the stack of money, Will is her sugar baby, the flirting cringe. You know what? Like, there was like a little speck of something. Like, oh, you want to come upstairs with me? You next. Did y'all catch that part? That was cringy. Like, I was trying not to think of it as a sexual innuendo, but it did feel that way. Do you think this documentary will help or hurt Wendy? I think it would help Wendy by the public being able to give her some empathy, for the public to finally know what's going on, that it's beyond like addiction. Like, she's dealing with like a disease at this point now, like a mental like disease that she can't help. So I think it helps with that. I think it helps give clarity to some things, like why things have been happening. So personally, I think it's helping her. Now, I don't think Wendy is watching this documentary. I think she's now getting the care that she needs, or I don't know. I don't think she'll be filmed from now on. I don't think we're going to see her out anymore. Maybe we will. I don't know. My kids didn't ask me to be here, and they do not owe me their life. Not to mention her body dysmorphia. Oh man, she's dealing with so much. The style, the feet, the fact that she never has worn compression socks to treat her feet. Yeah, it just felt like she's not getting any treatment for that. Like, I get that there's no cure for it, but geez. Don Lemon tweeted that she never show her hair on camera. She would take her wig off at his house, but knew to never photograph her. I think the conservators want her back in New York so they can keep control over her, while her family in Miami actually want to see her do better. I do think the family wants to see her do better. I think she needs to be around people. And I think after this, she's going to be under 24/7 care. And I'm not sure, but someone let me know in the chat, is she under a conservatorship? Because after this, like, she's going to have to be. What was alarming was the bank wasn't able to control her money. Trusting the courts, perhaps. Trusting the bank, no. But I think they said in the documentary that the court said there was no any ill going ons with the bank. What do you think poor Journey Kevin outside baby will think? Oh, Journey. Kevin outside baby will think of Wendy Williams when she grows up. I don't know. Like, she has no affiliation with Wendy Williams. That's all. She has the affiliation with her husband. Yes, she called him sexy. Oh, goodness. Y'all remember when Wendy got into it with Suzanne? I don't remember. I think she would just tell her to shut up or whatever. Hell yeah, Will is Wendy's equal to Kevin. And the addiction is making her mental health issues worse. One person is asking about lymphedema and does it really make your feet gray? I don't know. I've never, yeah. People keep asking, what about Norman? What about Norman? Norman can't do nothing. Norman was just an employee. That's all he was to Wendy Williams. She probably don't even remember who Norman is. But I would really love to see Norman get an interview. Like, some YouTuber interview Norman? Because I think we all want to hear what he has to say. Like, again, this is one of Wendy's right-hand men, too. He was there since the beginning. Oh, so I could get Philo free trial. Thank you, Ready Boo. I will definitely be on that. But I'm going to get back to the episode because I can't believe I've been on here for an hour already. So then they take a break after the whole manic episode that happened in the car over the vape pens. So then afterward, they interview Sean, and that's when I was just like, they need to get these people around, from around Wendy, because she said that she still didn't see any reason to be concerned. I'm like, bitch, what? What? Are you crazy? Did you not see what just transpired? Yeah, she does not have Wendy's best interests. And then filming continues, and then production, this is the next day, production starts to get worried because I think she had somebody there to sell her clothes so she can make money. And then production is like, they had to call her team because she's in bed, I think, drunk. They said her mouth was hanging open, her eyes were rolled back in bed. And then, we did see early in the episode, a half-filled liquor bottle that she went through. So they had to call Will. Her management team was over there too. This other woman said that the clothes was everywhere. The cats threw up. Not sure if she threw up. She said there was vomit somewhere. Like, at this point, she cannot be alone. It was so sad. So then we see Will finally arrives. He's talking to her any kind of way now. Like, he's sick of it. He's tired of like the back and forth, because you definitely hear a change in his tone from episode 1 when they started the documentary trying to please her. And now he's like talking to her like there's another type of relationship there, you know? It's just like, get your ass up, you know, something like that. Like, he was not very kind. Right. Her original net worth was 120 million. Net worth. Like, what's in the bank account? What's in the bank account? You think there was stage scenes? I don't know. But I think Will was definitely helping orchestrate the scene. Like, why would he say this on camera? Like, why are you drinking this? Or why you got your money out? Like, if he was in her corner, I don't think she would want that. She would want that aired, you know? Ooh, gotta blow my nose, y'all. I'm gonna mute right. Sorry about that. Can't edit, live show. And we got almost 350 people in the chat. I appreciate it. 400, not sure if we could get there, but we can try. We'll see. Oh, S. Lloyd, why are you not hitting that thumbs up button? Hit that thumbs up button for a ninja. It's still Black History Month. Support a ninja. Anywho, she depended on a lot on Norman when it came to recollecting names and dates of her stories during Hot Topics. Definitely. DJ Booth is one of the gag order / payout. Remember what Wendy allegedly did before he terminated? No, like, refresh my memory. Give me the tea in the comments, please. So yeah, I watched the Lifetime app, for the first part 1 and 2, but I'm not sure if they're letting you watch it for free for parts 3 and 4. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why Lifetime can't just be on regular cable. Like, for some reason, it's not on YouTube TV. It's really frustrating. Will's giving Sweet Tea access to the money. Yes. Did Will ever think the podcast was really going to happen? He is delusional. He is very delusional. Like, I was just like, are they serious right now? They're still trying to like get deals. Like, who is going to like invest in that? That kind of reminded me when Lindsay Lohan, like, this was right after the movie she did with Jane Fonda, like, and how she was working with on set. Like, she was unemployable for a while, because it's like, if she spirals, then the insurance for the movie is done. So you have to really invest. And Wendy's not showing any signs of being a worthy investment for like a station to give her a show or distribution. Apparently, to me, it seemed like he just jumped ship. But apparently, is there some other tea that I'm missing? I wonder how much footage that was not seen as compared to what the public sees. I mean, I feel like they're showing it all. If they could show her in that car, or with him showing the liquor bottles, I think it's going to only get worse. I mean, I'm glad it's coming on tonight, because I was just like, ugh, I got to wait till next week. Oh. Debmar Mercury had to pay him because he was going to sue for sexual harassment because Wendy disrobed in front of him, exposing her breast and playing with herself, propositioning him. Wow. Yeah, I mean, is this isn't alleged, y'all? I didn't hear about this. I'm gonna have to Google, but I'm not surprised by this. I can see this happening, Because when she said, I can be topless or something, I thought she was about to show her breasts. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I totally believe it, but I'm not sure if that happened. He got paid out on his sexual harassment suit. Okay, I guess it happened. It's not alleged. Oh, okay, because all of that was court ordered and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. Wendy was not invited to the Barbara Walters special with all the female hosts. She was not respected. She never won the Emmy. Clearly, sir, you do not see it for Wendy. Woo. I mean, there's a few of y'all who just don't even care. But look, like I said, this is the messy auntie in my head that is suffering, and I feel bad for her. So let's finish out part 2 because I still got to be on Maddie's channel for 2 hours. So after Will, like he's there now, he sees like the state Wendy's in. He sends the woman home who was supposed to sell her clothes. It just seemed like he's not concerned about her mental state. And he even says that he just doesn't even want to bring it up. Like he just thinks if he doesn't bring it up, he won't have to deal with it. Crazy. So then episode 2, it ends with just her being in bed again, just like being laid out, like incapacitated. And that is where like part 2 ends. So we have 3 and 4 tonight. And I gotta say, I watched this all this morning, and it just felt like I was watching 4 hours of footage, but it was only like 2 44-minute episodes. It is so sad, y'all. It's just like it's like watching a car crash with fatalities in slow motion. Like it's real cringe to watch. Like the secondhand embarrassment. Like it's nothing funny about it, really. But I'm really sad for Wendy. Look, I just feel like we grew up with her. That booth incident had to be related to the diagnosis. I agree, but maybe at that time they really couldn't use that as a defense. I'm really going to be curious if Sherry comments on the documentary. I think she will. I'll probably watch Sherry tomorrow because, look, this is going to be talked about. I'm probably going to watch The View, and y'all know I don't watch that show anymore. It's so crazy how much I used to watch The View, too. I used to watch it every single day. I didn't miss one episode. And then once Donald Trump became president, and that was like, I actually went to The View the day after the election when he was, when he won the election. It was like going to a funeral. But then afterward, I've been trying to watch The View that year, and it was just nothing but, political talk, and it just became depressing. So that's why I kind of fell off from The View. But I'll always, catch the little, parts that go viral. But anywho, I think they're going to talk about it on The View tomorrow. They're going to talk about it on Sherry. Definitely everyone's going to be talking about this. And yes, I think we all have a soft spot for Wendy Williams. Like, yes, she was a terror at some point. Yeah, she talked about people like a dog, but still, again, I just have this familial bond to her in my head. Crazy how alcohol was Wendy's downfall and not the Coke. Crazy. I believe they did this documentary to help the family get conservatorship. I don't. Yeah, I think so. I think the Guardian, like, it feels like it's the Guardian and her management team against the family and the production, because it seemed like one side didn't even want this to air. But it looks like the family now is working with production to try to get the word out that Wendy needs help. Wendy definitely needs help. The panel can't start on Maddie's channel because it starts at 5. We'll see, though. Been rocking with Wendy since WBLS days. She will always be the queen of all media. I agree. Mm. Sherry has to focus on that executive producer who unalived himself due to embezzling funds from the show. Oh, I heard about that. It's just a lot going on. Kevin Jr. was spending $300K a month of her money. He ain't getting conservatorship. He's definitely not. I think they're going to, I don't know. Like, to be a conservatorship, it's just a role to take on. Like that's going to become your career, basically. So I'm just wondering, should the niece, should she be the conservator? Maybe she should be like in charge, maybe, because I feel like out of all the people that I saw, it seems like her niece has like the has like a good head on her shoulders. Like it seemed like she has Wendy's best interests. Oh, okay. I didn't know The View had her niece on. That's how much I watch it. I just got one of the notifications. Yes, it has not started yet because I'll be on there in 20 minutes. He also worked on Wendy's show, so he was embezzling then too. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. My grandpa had dementia and Alzheimer's. Watching Wendy is bringing me back. She needs a caregiver with lots of patience. Definitely. Mm-mm. The family is whistleblowing through this documentary. Maybe the guardianship and maybe her management team wanted to keep this all under wraps. Not sure. I'm really curious. Like by part 4, like her team had to know that, you know, all this footage was not going to be used for to get her on a podcast. Or I think like the production, they just said like, okay, clearly she's not getting a podcast anytime soon, but what can we get, what can we do with this footage? And this is what they chose to do with it. I'm surprised they got so many of like her family members and close people to her on this documentary. But again, I do pose this question to y'all. Do y'all prefer that she at least be around her family and, you know, they just so happen to be abusing like her finances, but at least she's in good hands, in good care. So that's like the catch 22 to me. Or should she just get a court appointed everything, be by herself? You know, so it's hard. It really is. It seemed like y'all are agreeing like family. Her sister offered to be guardian. I think her sister and niece should be co-conservators. Maybe that, yes. The guardian was trying to block it. They want to keep getting paid because this is what her poor state under their watch. They definitely need to be investigated, and now they have enough proof to do so, or at least bring this to court. I feel like after this, like after these 4 parts, we're gonna see something happen. Shout out to 350 in the room. I'm unfortunately gonna have to end in 4 minutes, but I want to thank y'all for watching today. This was a painful watch. Maybe I'll get on Monday to talk about parts 3 and 4. Because I know, you know, I got to do the season finale for Married to Medicine and then Potomac. Got to do that. Also, hope y'all enjoying the 2 videos I posted on my Patreon, the Chris After Dark questions, as well as Pop Roast Extra. Again, if you're not on my Patreon, it's like at least 200 videos where you'll definitely get your money's worth. It is $4 a month. Being alone by herself will kill her. She can't survive loneliness. So sad. Like, she's such a people person. I think that's what's definitely causing her to drink too, is like just being alone. She needs to be around family because they're the only ones telling her no to anything, especially liquor. Yeah. Whew, I wonder where she is now at this point while all this is going on. Oh, let's see. Her sister Wanda and her niece Alexis will have close to an ideal state. Okay. Hit the like button on y'all's way out, please, and thank you. I love my own company. I think it's important for everyone to be good with that, whether or not one is in a relationship or not. Look, I came with that harsh realization in my 20s. It's just like, I may not be, with someone. I may be alone for the rest of my life. I have to be fine with being alone. I mean, I do have friends though, and stuff like that. So I really never feel alone. But yes, some people really can't handle loneliness. And it's just so many variables that Wendy Williams is going through right now. Like the alcoholism, like her show ending, like that was her baby. The divorce, the humiliation with that, um, like her son going away. Like it was so much like to deal with. And then you have the Graves' disease, and then you're dealing with a mental illness. I'm sure the alcohol abuse is not helping her condition. It probably worsened or maybe even like accelerated her condition. So that's what's really sad. This was fun, Chris. Thanks for the surprise live. Yeah, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. It looks like y'all are on y'all's way out. Yeah, I'm gonna be on 2 more hours with Maddie. So go over there for the Drag Race fans, support his channel. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna get off here right now, just so I can catch my breath. Made me lose my breath. Made me lose my breath. This sun is just it's the skin is skinning, and thank you for the sunlight. No filter here. It's just the sun, and I'm loving it. Anyway, y'all. Again, I'm gonna plug myself right quick before I leave. Follow me, cdiggy1 on my Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. Give a ninja a like. Put the comments under it so other people can discover my wackiness. Okay, please. Please. On this Black History Month, white people in the chat, do your due diligence for Black History Month and hit that like button. Anywho, y'all. Also, patreon.com/cdiggy1. There's the Cash App right there. Okay. If you want to give a tip, it's $CDiggy1 on Cash App, Chris-Diggins on Venmo. And yeah, with that, y'all, I guess I'll see y'all for parts 3 and 4. We'll do another live and just see what else we find out on this very heartbreaking documentary. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all very soon. Bye.